That's fatwood. Why you need to know what fatwood is, it's very important. Fire. This is your best friend in the wild for fire, especially in wet environments. This, ladies and gentlemen, is dunnage, which is made of fatwood. Fat lighter, lighter knot. I'm going to show you how awesome this stuff is and how easy it is to gather. Okay. So I'm going to leave that there for the next 5 minutes, 10 minutes, doesn't really matter. I'll give it 20 and come back. All right, it's been about 20 minutes. You can notice a very distinct orange color here. You're not going to see it on the whole piece of wood. You can see that color. It still has some orange stripes. That's good. But that orange is golden. You can also see a lot of stuff is stuck to it because it's really sappy and sticky. The sap is what we're looking for. This is fatwood. Fatwood comes from pine. I'm going to show you how awesome this is and why you should have it in your prep bag, go bag, oh shit bag, whatever bag you have. That will prepare you for being out in the wild. You should have this. If you don't know how to harvest it yourself or identify pine in the wild, this can be for you. This one piece. Hello world, Will White here with the Piked Antler Project. Today's pro tip: fatwood, lighter knot, fat lighter. Okay, so whether you're beginner, intermediate, or advanced, this pro tip will actually help you out either way. Maybe you already know this, and if so, we're talking about dunnage from hardware stores. If you already know where I'm going, not much more to show you except for maybe how to process this quickly and efficiently. So for those of you that do not know what fat lighter, lighter knot, or fatwood is, it's super sappy pine, essentially. Different pines produce different caliber of fatwood. I'm not sure what this is, but I processed it and tried it already on a different piece and it works. You already saw I soaked this in the water for 20 minutes. In all honesty, it doesn't matter. You can soak this for 1 minute, a whole year. Doesn't really matter. The reason is fatwood is basically sap that is gathered from gravity from pine into the root system, or even the elbow of a branch. Still has fatwood in it. The roots are the best. Come to our classes and we'll kind of show you in person how to identify fatwood in the wild, because it doesn't look like this. This is called actually dunnage, this piece of wood. Dunnage is essentially what they put on the ground, big piece. They put a few of these on the ground and then put their valued lumber on top. So the valued lumber is not actually making contact with the ground, keeping it somewhat dry. So on the site the other day, I saw this, noticed the color orange, picked it up, gave it a smell, smelled like fatwood. I also noticed how all the stuff is sticking to it. Sticky. So sap, as we all know, is sticky. That's fatwood. Why you need to know what fatwood is, it's very important. Fire. This is your best friend in the wild for fire, especially in wet environments, which is why I soaked this in the water for such a long time. And again, 5 minutes, an hour, doesn't matter. Dry or wet, doesn't matter. That's true. Except for, this is still wet on the outside, so all I really have to do, dab a little bit, good to go. First, I'm going to go ahead and process it as if this is all I had, a chunk of fatwood in the woods. Here's how you would process it, and then I'll go in to show you how to process it to have it as an item in your go bag, grab bag, oh shit bag. First, you need to identify which parts you want. So you see that amber kind of color? That's what you want. So you can see here, you see a little bit of yellow and a little bit of orange. That's pretty good. That looks more like wood. The orange, that's pretty good, but we have different colors. We don't want that. We want a solid dark color. That's pretty solid. So let's get into it. First, I'm going to go ahead and get to the nitty-gritty of it. Oh, I can see it already. So I can feel it's already sticky. I don't want to jam my hand into the table like that. Ow! I'm right on a knot, so I'm going to go ahead and switch positions. Okay, so as I'm cutting, I can feel it just feels kind of waxy. That's perfect. Got some light on it. There we go. See how orange that is? That's beautiful. It's very simple. 90 degrees, like a T, perpendicular. That's all you really need. Now, if I were in a woodland situation, I would just strike downward to make sure all of this tinder stays collected. I have a big workspace. I'm in the shop. You have a nice piece of Fatwood. I just pinched it. It's sticky. It's sappy. Oh, okay, there we go. A few little tips, but the biggest one is the smell. If you're not sure what it smells like, man, it smells like a really strong but pleasant pine saw, but clean and healthy. If I'm trying to really make a fire, what I would do is make some toothpicks or just some shavings. Real world, if I were lost in the wild, it was really cold, I would spend at least an hour processing this to increase the odds of success. You can use a lighter, a match, or a ferro rod. Today I'm going to make it a little more difficult. I'm going to use a ferro rod. Now it is nice to go ahead and have some sort of padding for your hand. The more comfortable you are, the more efficiently you can work. If your anchor hand is in pain, you're going to kind of be a little more delicate. You need to be aggressive with this. And as you're striking, with the ferro rod, you don't want to strike with your knife. Because what's going to happen is you're going to end up eventually doing that, which we don't want to do, obviously. So what we want to do instead is move our ferro hand. A little more strikes than I'm used to. Again, if you had an abundant amount of shavings from Fatwood, you'd be ready to go, get a rock and roll fire. The great thing about Fatwood, it burns hot, easy to light, and it produces black smoke, which is great for signaling, especially if you're out here in the Smoky Mountains. The fog in the morning looks like smoke. So having a signal fire that is just white smoke isn't going to stand out nearly as much as black smoke. Now if you want to go ahead and make a whole handful of these, something about that big is pretty good. You don't want it too heavy. You can get a lot of Fatwood out of one little section. So we're going to rip this down into little 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch pieces. If you have a power saw, by all means use it. If not, hand saw, or have a friend help you out. So all I'm going to do is use this chop saw right here. There we go. Got the length I want, roughly 5.5 inches. So from that 1 5.5 6-inch piece, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, would be 5 if it didn't have a knot, 5, same here, 6, Fatwood. The coolest thing is, if you save your sawdust for experimenting, if you want to go ahead and practice with this, all this sawdust is Fatwood. It's really that easy with practice and training. There's your pro tip for the day. Stay alive as long as you can.